Let's go through the picture reading and the boxes of this lesson. Already we have covered the first picture drawn by Frederick Sorio, and the title of the picture, The Dream of Worldwide Democratic Social Republics. Here we have seen Christ and the angels blessing the people, and down we have seen a big row of people marching through the Statue of Liberty. This is Statue of Liberty holding Torch of Enlightenment in one hand and the Charter of Rights in Statue of Liberty, and the big row of people marching. And here you can see USA has already crossed the statue, which signifies that USA has already got the freedom, set up democratic form of government, whereas France is going through it, and you can see Germany flag also. But we have discussed that by this time Germany is not formed. And here at the bottom we can see all the particles of monarchy, the crown and the monarchy thrown below, destroyed, which shows that monarchy is destroyed. People are marching towards Statue of Liberty, indicates democratic form of government, and above angels and Christ blessing the people, and here written as fraternity. Here the caption fraternity is written. Fraternity in the sense all the people working together like a team, moving together like a team. Okay, next is source A. Source A, where Ernst Renan has defined what is a nation, and he has given his lecture in University of Sorbonne in 1882, where he has defined nation, and he is a French philosopher, in the sense he belongs to France. So this is the French version of what is nation. So in his speech he has said that a nation is a culmination of long past of endeavor, sacrifice and devotion. So from the long time, it's from the long time when people are fighting, sacrificing their lives, devoting their lives for the sake of nation, then we can form the nation. So here one more word is used. It's a daily plebiscite. Plebiscite in the sense direct vote. Here they have given direct vote, by which all the people of a region asked to accept or reject a proposal. Here in today's world this is not a big issue for us, but during 18th century, in the beginning, early 19th century, it's a big point for them, because there was no democracy, there were everywhere monarchical form, and people have no right to speak. And here summarize the nation as Renan understand them discuss. So the highlighted points in this box, if you write, that's enough. So next we have let us have a look at the next picture reading of figure 2. Now let's discuss figure 2. So here this is a figure of cover. This is a cover of a German almanac. Almanac in the sense magazine, and designed by journalist Andreas Rebmann. So Andreas Rebmann has designed these two pictures on a German magazine. What does this first picture depicts? First picture shows the Bastille prison. Remember your French Revolution lesson, Bastille prison, and next to another fort he has shown, and he wanted to show that the same like how in France through the Bastille prison, French Revolution started. By after Bastille prison only, blasting of prison, French Revolution started, leading to setting up of constitutional monarchy, and then republic, and then directory, and then Napoleon taking up the charge. So a revolution has made the form of government to choose. Monarchy lose its power. So he is expecting in other parts of the nation also the same thing. So here is the matter also given. The image of French Bastille being stormed by the revolutionary crowd has been placed next to a similar fortress meant to represent the bastion of despotic rule in German province. In German province called castle, even there also despotic rule in the sense monarchical form of government, unjust rule, where monarch has all the powers and others do not have any power. Accompanying the illustration is the slogan, the people must seize their own freedom. What is he saying? People must seize their own freedom, how the way it has happened in France. So figure 3 is your Europe during the 1815. So here we can see different empires. Russian Empire, Austrian Empire, Ottoman Empire, then France and Spain, Bourbon dynasty, then Great Britain, 4 parts of Great Britain, Prussia, where Prussia later on turning into Germany, and then the 7 states of Italy. So all this we have discussed. So now it's figure 4, the planting of tree of liberty. So the caption of the this painting is the painting of tree of liberty, and this painting is done by German painter Karl Caspar Fritz. No need to remember these names, just to understand the viewpoint of this painting, it's enough for you. No need to memorize or no need to remember anything. So in this painting, what are they depicting? So if you can try to recollect, this is the time when figure 4, this is the time when Napoleon Bonaparte started taking the territories, and he has introduced a Napoleonic code, lot many administrative changes he has brought, and people of other regions also welcomed him in the beginning, calling him as harbinger of liberty, means he is bringing liberty. But later on, we have studied, soon it turned into hostility, people started hating him. So this picture is a sarcastic view of that ideology. So here this is the French army, blue, white and red uniform. The people who are wearing blue, white and red uniform are the French army. And here you can see, one way you can see that French army harassing the peasants. So this is the way, harassing the peasants, and another way harassing some young women in the center foreground, harassing women in the center foreground, and a peasant down to his knees. To this corner, a peasant down to his knees. Whereas the plaque shows that humanity. So take freedom and equality from us, the model of humanity. So here in German, here they are fixing a placard which is saying that take freedom and equality from us. Like a sarcastic view. It's a sarcastic view of representing the claim that French Revolution, Napoleon is about destroying monarchy and setting up freedom, but actually it's not true. Though he has brought lot many administrative changes, people started hating him because of censorship, increased taxation. Can you recollect the points? Yes. Now let's look at figure 5. So here this person, this postman, courier man is a Napoleon. The Napoleon is been represented as a courier man here. So Napoleon here is represented as a postman, and he is on his back he is carrying. So you can see the papers flying away from this. They are all the territories lost by Napoleon. So in 1830, Napoleon has occupied nearly half of the Europe. But what happened slowly, this Prussia, Russia, Austria, Britain have come together and they have defeated Napoleon slowly. So each letter dropping out of his bag bears the names of the territories he lost. This is about figure 5, Napoleon representing as a postman, and these are the ones, letters which represent the territories he has lost. So here you can see that you can see a timeline. Here you can see a timeline: 1797 Napoleon invades Italy, 1814 fall of Napoleon, 1821 Greek struggle of independence, 1848 revolution by the poor and the revolution by the liberals, then 1859 to 70 Italy, unification of Italy and unification of Germany. 1905 we need to cover this topic. Next session we will cover this topic. So here very few years they have given. The homework for you, after the completion of this topic, you need to make timeline of this lesson on your own. Hope you have understood. You need to make the timeline of this lesson. Here we have got a new word, suffrage. Suffrage in the sense the right to vote. There is a difference between suffrage and universal suffrage. Suffrage, right to vote. Okay, what is universal suffrage? Universal in the sense everyone above the age of now all over the world we are following universal suffrage, but during the time of revolution right to vote is only for the men, not for women, so it won't come under universal suffrage. Universal suffrage in the sense right to vote for Universal suffrage in the sense right to vote irrespective of gender, caste, creed, every citizen getting the right to vote above the age of 21 years. So here it is source B. Source B, this is the time of liberalism and when economic liberalism. So here the topic is about economic liberalism. In what way economists are feeling liberalism, in what way they want the freedom to be done. And here Friedrich List, professor of economics, he has explained the aim of Zollverein. Can you recollect Zollverein? Zollverein is a customs union formed by Prussia. So here it is at the end. Zollverein is a customs union formed at the initiative of Prussia and joined by German traders. Can you recollect? And with this customs union, they were able to bring a change. What is that change? When the trade barriers were there and they had to pay 30 types of currency, 30 varieties of currencies. Instead of that, now they can pay only 2 varieties of currency. Some benefit they have got. So here is explaining the aim of Zollverein. It will strengthen the nation. The point is, it will strengthen the nation materially, externally and internally. Internal productivity means it will raise production, it increases the productivity, economical benefit for the country. That point he is raising here. And he is saying that German people have realized that a free economic system is the only means to engender national feeling. So through economy also national feeling can be developed. Okay, this is figure 6, the club of thinkers. And an anonymous caricature. Caricature in the sense cartoon. We can, simple terminology, we can say cartoon, where people express their viewpoints. Anonymous, the painter's name is not been revealed. And this painting is done during the time of Treaty of Vienna. Can you recollect Treaty of Vienna? Duke Metternich organized a meeting and they have restored monarchical form of government, taken away Napoleonic code, whereas few changes they have kept alike, but many were taken out. Censorship introduced. So this was the time when a painter has done this caricature. And here the board, the plaques here represent. So whatever is written in the plaques here has been mentioned here. What is the first one? First plaque is saying that today the most important questions of today's meeting. How long will the thinking be allowed to us? In a sarcastic way, as I said, because people were not allowed to think. Only the monarch will take the decision and people have to follow. So another board showing that silence is the first commandment of this learned society. It means people should be silent. Second one saying that if any person gets tempted to speak, then his muscles will be distributed. So it's kind of warning to the people to be quiet, to keep their mouth shut and not to speak. So it's a sarcastic way of representing the Treaty of Vienna model. Okay, it is figure 7 and it's for Joseph Mazzini and the founder of Young Europe. Here they have given it as Young Europe. He founded Young Europe. But one more society, if you can recollect, Joseph Mazzini has found 2 societies. One is Young Europe. What is another one? Yes, it is Young Italy. Young Europe and Young Italy, 2 secret societies formed by Mazzini. Like after this Treaty of Vienna, censorship introduced, people are not allowed to think. At that time, the liberal nationalists, the people who have the feeling of getting freedom and getting democracy, these people turned out to be revolutionaries. And they have set up many secret societies. Among them, the famous one is Metternich and even, Joseph Mazzini. Even Metternich have also described him as the most dangerous enemy of the social order. So Joseph Mazzini and his secret society. Okay, figure 8, it shows the massacre. Massacre in the sense killing in large number at chaos. This is related to Greek War of Independence. Greek has got independence from Ottoman Empire. They have fought for independence and then finally they got the freedom. But during the time of their revolution, nearly 20,000 Greeks were killed by Turks and in the island of Chios. And this painting is done by French painter Delacroix, and he is a romantic painter. So romanticism, can you remember, a cultural movement which focuses on emotions than science and reason. Okay, so Delacroix sought to appeal to the emotions of the spectators and create sympathy for the Greeks. By drawing this picture, he wanted to create sympathy among Greeks. In this way, he has gathered the support from the Europeans and the and put pressure on the Ottoman Empire to give freedom to Greece. So next we have this box where we about Grimm brothers. Already we have discussed about Grimm brothers, Grimm fairy tales and all. These are the people who has gone around the areas and collected folklores, and they have made fake fairy tales for children, and 33 volume dictionary also been done by them. So here discuss the importance of language and popular traditions in the creation of national identity. Language, you can write about this Poland and different cultural traditions, Prussia, Karol Karpinski, opera, music. So all these points can be portrayed for this discussion question. Now let's have a look at next painting, figure 9. It's peasants uprising in 1848. Hunger, hardship and revolt. Okay, it is a peasants, poor people's revolt in the year 1848, where finally poor people have revolted. Louis XVI was forced to flee, and then republic was set up. Clear? We have discussed here about France Revolution. Yes. Okay, this is source C, and here three people have discussed the idea of liberty and equality for women, and I have given this point as a point of discussion in our group. So first person, liberal politician Karl Welcker. He was a elected member of Frankfurt Parliament. In his opinion, he felt that men, the stronger, has designed to take care of is the protector of the family. All the public tax should be taken by the men, whereas women, the weaker and the dependent, they have to take care of the home and they have to take care of the family. This was the viewpoint of one of the representative who was in Frankfurt Parliament. Then comes another person, it is Louis Otto Peters, and he is a political activist and he is a feminist in the sense feminism. The people who believe equality for men and women, they won't find any difference between men and women. They feel equal rights should be given to men and women. So he in his view, what he is saying, suppose he is saying that, so if we are prepared to fight for freedom of the entire people, of all human beings, because here Frankfurt Parliament, in the sense what, here all the people have gathered so that they get freedom from monarchy, so that they can set up constitutional monarchy, they can create a nation state. So his question was, when we want freedom for entire human being, all the human being in the sense it is men and women both. Suppose if we are fighting for only free men, then we are surrounded by unfree, because women are not given freedom. This was his point of view. Then one anonymous reader, one of the readers' name is not given here. The viewpoint here, the viewpoint of that reader is, so what he is saying, suppose ridiculous and unreasonable, because they have given right to vote to all the men, whereas women were not given any of the political rights. So they are saying women were denied political rights, though they are enjoying right to property, they were not given political rights at all. So is it very much injustice, because it's a disgrace. Even the stupidest cattle herder, means the person who is taking care of cattle, he doesn't know, no education, no property, he has got the right to vote. But woman who is educated, who is capable and talented, highly talented, did not get any right to vote because she is a woman. So this is ridiculous point. This is the viewpoint of. Okay, next figure 10. This also we have discussed, Frankfurt Parliament in the Church of Saint Paul. So all the 831 elected representatives gathered in Saint Paul Church, Germany, to form a nation state of Germany, and these are the people who drafted the constitution, whereas women were not. Only this one is dominated by educated middle class people. These people had totally ignored the poor and women also. Women, though they were talented and educated, they were not given the political rights, and leading to the failure of Frankfurt Parliament. Figure 11, it's proclamation of German Empire in the Hall of Mirror of Versailles. Here this white colored person, here it's about conservatives taking up the role of unification, making a nation state, and Ottoman Bismarck is the main leader in the unification of Germany and making Kaiser William I of Prussia as the Emperor of Germany. This is about figure 11. Okay, here comes a caricature of Ottoman Bismarck. Caricature in the sense, it's a, as I said before, it's a cartoon way of representing an idea. This caricature of Bismarck shows Reichstag in the sense parliament. Parliament in Germany is referred to as Reichstag, where here they are showing Bismarck with a hunter, which clearly shows he is a very strict person. Ottoman Bismarck ruled with blood and iron. He followed the blood and iron policy. Very strict person. He was very strict person. He controlled parliament in such a way, and he has given orders in such a way that finally he was able to unification of Germany is done, and modernization of Germany also done under his control. No one has got the right to question. They were all afraid of Hitler. So box 2, here is a story of Joseph Garibaldi. Can you tell me to which country unification this person has given support? Joseph Garibaldi, Italy. Okay, he has given support to the unification of Italy in the southern region of Italy. Can you remember this map? As we have seen, the north part was under the control of northern part was under the control of Austrian Empire. So Count Cavour is able to take the help of French army, and he was able to defeat Austria. So northern Italy captured by Count Cavour, whereas this south part, kingdom of two Sicilies, which were in the hands of the Spain. So this area was taken control by Joseph Garibaldi. He was a revolutionary. He took the help of peasants who were referred to as red shirts, and he was able to capture South Italy, and then he offered this South Italy to Victor Emmanuel II, leading to the unification of Italy. So here is the story of Joseph Garibaldi. He was the most celebrated Italian freedom fighter. He came from a family of sailors from the merchant navy. Then he joined Young Italy movement. Like Mazzini started Young Italy. Can you remember Young Italy in Young Europe secret societies? He joined in that, but he was the uprising was suppressed, and he had to flee to South America. He lived in exile in the sense he ran away from the country. He started living in hiding because he was a revolutionary. He can't get arrested. So 1860, Garibaldi came. He came to know that Count Cavour is trying to unify Italy. So he has come back to Italy again and came to South Italy first. Then he has taken lot many fresh volunteers, nearly 30,000 volunteers he has gathered, almost all belonging to working classes, peasants and workers, and they were popularly known as Red Shirts. His army is known as Red Shirts. In 1867, Garibaldi led an army of volunteers to Rome to fight the last obstacle for the unification of Italy, that is South Italy. Then finally, Red Shirts proved to be no match to the combined forces of France and Papal troops. Finally, 1870, war with Prussia. France withdrew the troops from Rome, that the Papal states are finally joined to Italy. So this point I will explain now. Listen carefully. Check this point carefully. So here it is Germany, Prussia. Remember Germany, unification of Germany, and final war with France in the year 1871. Have it won by Prussia, Franco-Prussian War 1871. So France was busy in war with Germany in the before 1870 and 71. At this time is been utilized by Italian person Garibaldi. So even here you can see 1870 Papal States, Pope. So Kingdom of South, both Sicily, Spain was taken by the revolutionary states. They have were able to occupy. When it comes to Papal States, Pope 1870, when France was busy with Germany, so France has taken away its troops from Italy to increase their force in Germany. So this point is being utilized, and then this papal states are slowly clubbed into Italy, leading to the unification of Italy. Like North Italy, war with Austria, South Italy, Joseph Garibaldi, revolutionaries, red shirts, and this 1870 when France troops were busy fighting with Germany, this area is being occupied, leading to the unification of Italy. So this point is been explained here. So here Garibaldi helping, he is Garibaldi, he is Victor Emmanuel too. He is helping Victor Emmanuel to wear the shoe of Italy. And can you see he is helping from down in the south part of Italy was in his control. Now he has occupied. Then he offered the South Italy also to him by leading to the unification of Italy. So Garibaldi helping King Victor Emmanuel of Sardinia Piedmont to pull on the boot name Italy. It is an English caricature, means and a person belonging to England has done this caricature. The king of after unification of Italy, Victor Emmanuel II proclaimed. Visualizing the nation points we have already discussed. Visualizing Germania, then France, Christian, Marianne, attributes and their significance, all these points we have discussed. So our next topic is nationalism and imperialism. We will discuss in next session.